Good evening, distinguished guests, members of the administration, faculty and staff, and fellow graduates. I'm truly honored to be here before you presenting a speech for the graduating class of 2023, the unproblematic class. Blood is thicker than water. For that reason, it is with deep sadness within me I leave behind the place that has shaped me into the person I am today. I can undoubtedly say that there is no better place I would have rather welcomed a community not to only serve my academic needs, but to constitute a place where I feel no greater comfort. Learning, sharing, and growing together is a phrase I'm sure throughout the years we've all heard, and it was our goal to strive towards these three words of wisdom. CIC has provided each and every one of us with an opportunity to not only grow and learn, but to welcome a community flooded with unwavering support and love. For the last 14 years, I've taken the same 32-minute drive to a place I can now easily recognize as one of the most significant places of my life, the school. It is only a few steps from where I stand before you today that for the past 4 years I walked the same path, welcomed by the smiles of Bob, Amo, Mustafa, and Miss Amira, who took the time to always ask, Malik, fi what's wrong? As we dragged ourselves into the classes we once dreaded and will now forever miss. From the devoted security guards to the administration and academic team that has guided us, it is only because of their efforts that I welcome myself and all those behind me to congratulate ourselves and our successes. From Miss Natalia, preparing us for Oxford level math and made math a little less unsufferable, to Miss Nina, my favorite biology teacher, who made the biology classroom like a mini family, to Miss Iman, who taught us the prominence in loving and giving back to our country, Miss Omneya, a second mother to us all, with her arms always open, welcoming our mini breakdowns that were mostly because of her assignments, to Mr. Zach, who taught us the significance of being the most kind-hearted people we can be, to Mr. Mark and Miss Jessica Lees, our favorite teacher couple, thank you for always sneaking in our Starbucks orders, to Miss Ronnie, whose vibe was always enough to light up any room she enters, Mr. Ayman, for being more than just a teacher, but a guiding figure for us all, especially the boys. Mr. Dragon, thank you for making physics fun. It was truly a pleasure being with you in the same class. Mr. Iheb, the reason I fell in love with chemistry, and a presence that will forever be engraved within us. Miss Didi and Miss Alisar, who easily became trusted members of our class through our seemingly endless gossip sessions. And lastly, but definitely not least, Miss Diana and Miss Kenny. Thank you for always being there for us, for being more than principals, and for teaching us to have order in life. We'll always be grateful for you. To the people most credible for today, the parents and the audience. Without your love and support for your kids, today wouldn't have been possible for any of us. You have gifted us all this opportunity to find another home to grow in. You have supported us through the sleepless nights, catching up on assignments that we should have started sooner. You've listened to us beg and plead for this year's senior trips, our excessive uniform plans that you disagreed with from the beginning, and all our ambitious plans to make this year worth a while. Now, to my mother, my guardian angel, you gave without question, and I aspire to be half the woman you are today. To the men in my life, my father and brother, thank you for backing me up when I need you to. I ask my fellow graduates to dedicate this moment in celebrating all the loving parents with a long-deserved applause of appreciation. Woo! For my next point of appreciation, I would like to look to those who have made this experience truly memorable, my friends and classmates. A day hasn't passed in this final year with you where I couldn't help myself but wish our time together wasn't nearly ending. However, today marks the beginning of our time apart, something I've been genuinely dreading, as most of you know. We've each shared smiles, laughs, and even tears together. You have made each year returning to school more enjoyable than the previous, and it's with great sadness we say our goodbyes. Although I may not remember our first impressions of each other as children, the people you have grown into today is something I will always remember. Most memorably through the end of our French versus English hatred. Of course, that didn't last long until Walla versus Dofa started. However, it was only until the final year where I truly felt as though we had grown closest together. During our early Mahmaya trip, I cannot shake the echoes of our laughter that rung around Rico x Ina Stella performance as we gathered around the campfire. And although I may not have realized it at the time, this memory will forever be engraved in our memories. And of course, the Fayoum trip, where once again we found ourselves sinking in the comfort of each other's company and the comfort of each other's presence. Although my personal favorite memory will forever be when I held a toast while shakily explaining my love to the Dofa, later in the year during cap and gown I found myself to be overwhelmed with the realization it is us who would be bidding this school goodbye and embarking on the next chapter of our lives. A journey I could not believe we were the ones to take next. On the same steps, we fantasize over the moments years before. However, nothing compares to our final senior walk. As we walked past the classrooms we once met with great fear and anticipation, except this time we were met with the endless love, care radiated from our parents and even ourselves. Most recently, on our senior trip, we recognized the flourishing of our connection. The senior trip became our scrapbook of memories. Whether it was our luck when we entered a storm on our second day, or the beautiful islands we visited, no activity compared to the joy we got from just each other's presence. Although it may have been our final journey together, I'm sure this next journey will provide us with even greater happiness. It is still so weird to imagine myself outside of the comfort of this community, and that each of us will embark the next part of our lives without each other. But I know that I will always have this place to look back on fondly, and the love we have for each other even after. We stand here today, on the precipice of the future. It's not a distant reality anymore. It begins here. It begins today. To each and every one of you, continue being the beautiful individuals you have grown to be. We've shown an abundance of times that we are capable of doing much. I wish you all the best, and I promise to not get emotional this time, but for the last time I'm gonna say this. أنا بحبكوا قوي. Good luck CIC in finding a دفعة even remotely weirder than us. Woo! Thank you.